Hi everybody, welcome back to part 2 of our segment on making a stepped bezel for a greenstone cabochon. So, this is just part of the process, trying to make the stone fit correctly. There. That's looking a lot better. So, looks like I guessed pretty good. I've got a nice amount of bezel material coming up over the dome, and this is going to set nicely when I'm finished. You can look at the bottom, you can kind of see where the stone is setting right on that ring. And it's kind of nice too for the person that, has the stone or ends up wearing it. It's kind of nice to see the back, kind of see the whole stone. So anyway, so now I've got this in the general shape. The bezel isn't perfect, but it appears like I'm getting contact all the way around the bottom nicely, and that's more than likely where that stone's going to end up sitting. So I can go ahead and pop this back out, which isn't that hard because the silver doesn't have very much memory. And now I'm just going to sand off the top a little bit to kind of get that edge consistent. And I've got a little bit of a bite mark there at the bottom of this. I'm going to clean that up right now. And this just aligns that bottom part that just didn't get aligned very well. It's a little bit better. Okay. Now it's time to attach the bail. This turned out really pretty good. So just gonna make a bail. It's what I normally do. I've got this patterned silver. It kind of looks like a rope on one side and it's flat on another. I like it. It makes for an interesting looking bail. So just like I normally do. Except on this one, I'm going to probably cut this part a little bit shorter. So I've just got that right there. I'm gonna close that hole up a little bit. Okay. And I just need to evaluate how that's going to rest on the back of this piece here. We flip both pieces over. Looks like I should probably cut that out a little bit with my rotary tool, just so that looks better. All right, the rest it looks like I can file away. Okay, let's see how that looks again. Got the bottom here. That just looks a lot better. I might have to go just a fraction more. Okay, let's look at that. Much better. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and solder that together now. Just wanted to give you another perspective of what this looks like. So I've just got these two holders here. And so I've got this lined up really perfect. And in my opinion, it's ready to solder. So all right, I think that's it. You saw it move a little bit on me. I was able to put that back where it's supposed to go, so kind of an amateur move and a veteran move at the same time. All right, so this is finished soldering anyway, and just show you the side of it. I've got some nice flow that went down behind it and connected the two pieces of metal there in the bail. And really it just turned out great. So now it's time to put it in the pickle, clean it up, and set the stone. Just finished sanding this and it turned out really good. Just took it out of the pickle bath and then you know, ran the Dremel over it for a minute. And so now I've got the piece generally ready to set the greenstone in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I just got to remember the orientation that I had originally designed the piece to go, and that was this direction. So it should just push right in. Nice, just like that. And so now, if you're looking at the piece, you can see that I have just enough bezel right here, right there showing, to push down around the stone, but there's not extra. It's very important you don't have extra material right there, otherwise it can get all crinkly and your bezel will look terrible. So this one actually turned out really good. I'm pushing down on the top and it's seated really well against that ring on the bottom. And so this one could not have turned out any better. I'm going to go ahead and start pushing this in with my bezel tool. I'm going to push from one side first and then the other side, keeping kind of some down pressure on the stone. And this just basically tacks in the stone in the right orientation, and it makes the stone so that it's not wobbling left and right. And now you can kind of start to put pressure on the top, two corners. Then I come down to the bottom two corners. So, but on this particular case, I'm trying to be careful not to bend this bottom part of this while I'm doing this. So this one is definitely going to be one that I'm going to use the Fordham hammer on, just so that I don't damage the bezel as I do this. Okay, just have the Fordham hammer tool right here. It's on the flex shaft. And just going to start working this bezel in. So I typically just go kind of back and forth between the Fordham hammer and the bezeling tool here until I get the stone seated. Typically right here at the top near the bail. It's kind of a hard spot. And sometimes it just doesn't want to roll, you know, all the way down. I'll show you real close. Sometimes it just doesn't want to roll down around the stone right there by the bail because of the solder joint there. A lot of times I can just make that just kind of roll and look better. But sometimes you're just going to see it. Just going to take the Fordham hammer again. I'm going to basically move this right around the bezel one more time and just finish it off. I'm done using the tools now on it, and so this is actually looking really good, and I'm ready to go to the sander on this right now. But basically on this part, what you're looking for is that you've got nice tight contact on the stone, and you've got on the edge, if you look at it on the edge, you've got that nice roll that kind of flattens out or zeroes out to the stone. That's what you're looking for on the bezel. So I'm pretty satisfied with it. I'll probably just run the sander on this a bit and see if after that if it needs a little bit more bezel work. So while I'm doing this, I'm being careful not to run the sander up on top of the surface of the stone like that, but just trying to only touch the silver or the metal part. Okay, like that. And so what that did is it just smoothed out the bezel surface, and it made that almost like a zero barrier between the stone and the bezel. And it actually turned out really great. So side shot right there. Nice profile, looking great. Next step I'm going to do just to get to finishing this off is I'm going to run the brass brush on this just to clean it up a little bit. So this is the greenstone finished, and I just think it turned out really, really nice. This greenstone in particular has an amazing pattern on it. It's got a lot of depth into the blacks, you know, with the greens, so it's really, really great. You know, I'd probably be the first person to agree that putting a back on a pendant is better. But if you come across a situation where you're making something out of 14 karat gold and you're trying to maybe save the client some money or just trying to save yourself some money, it's not a bad option, and it is a way to make a pendant a little bit more affordable in the end. So it doesn't take away from the front view of the pendant, and ultimately it does create a nice product in the end. So it would have been a cost savings, you know, I think in the probably at current rates probably the $60 to $80 mark. So that's pretty significant when you think in terms of, you know, making a pendant. So if you like the video, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I'd love for you to join me on some more videos down the road. And until next time, take care.